The part of gardening that, to me, God is really closely tied to gardens. You know, there's the Garden of Eden, and I always imagine, well, my garden isn't anywhere near what that would be like, but I'm sure. But yeah, a lot of times I sit in the garden and I'll just reflect on the sky looks so beautiful and the birds up in the sky. I'll reflect on how God just has done so many amazing things. It's such a warm feeling. I just look around and I'm so amazed how everything works together in a garden. I remember one time it was probably about 4 years ago, I was walking through Fish Creek and right beside the creek, and I remember looking at one of the poplar trees, and you know how they have such neat, crinkled, deep crevice in bark. And I was looking at the bark, and I love the texture. I like to see the light in the dark. And I remember just all of a sudden, it started with that picture, and then it was morning, and my eyes swung around, and I was looking at everything. I was looking at the shadows, looking at the beautiful color in the sky. I was listening to the birds, and I guess I was also starting to feel very thankful to God that I live in such a beautiful creation, and I hope I don't get emotional here, but I had a beautiful experience. It was just, I felt, whoops, I felt overwhelmed by the love of God. So it was like a spiritual experience like I've never had. It's tied to nature. Sorry. Honestly, I don't know how anybody can truly look at nature, be outside in nature, away from the city, away from man-made things. I don't know how anybody can look at it, reflect on it, and say there is no God. I don't know how anybody can do that, because to me the evidence is so clear. It can't just happen by itself.
When you start with photography and you really start looking at things, you know, because it's one thing you just walk through life, you know, that's a cool tree, that's kind of neat. But when you really start looking at things and realizing how the fabric of life is so interwoven and so, you know, from the minusculest thing, and like, so how can that all be an accident? Yeah, I see it all the time. It's just like, my girlfriend at the time, her and her 15-year-old daughter came with me out to that Mears Island. And she said the second she saw the ocean, she knew that there was a God, she said. Right, that's the reaction I had, was, ooh, you know. I was raised Catholic, right? Had to go to church every Sunday, right? It was pretty strict until you're 18, and then you get out into the world, and you know, you see how the world is, you know, and you kind of get discouraged with a higher power, you know, and then you start to question the existence of God. I kind of decided that there probably isn't a God, just because the suffering that there is in the world. But like I say, when you look at nature, how can that just be an accident? Like, there's got to be something else out there. And then you also see people doing amazing things also, right? It's not all just bad and evil out there. And then every time you see something that's amazing that a person does, right, then you go, oh, maybe there is something out there.
The Bible says, give and it will be given back to us. And I think that's in every area. I think it's with people too. The more we give to others, the more it seems we get in return. can't just take. If all we do is take, then we destroy. But when we give back, it gives back to us. When you look at it from that standpoint, from how trees give us oxygen and they need us to give them carbon dioxide, and how it all connects, and how the flow of life of us taking plants and eating plants, and and just how we have to continually give back to the planet to be able to have those things given back to us. It's pretty cool.